What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more U2 as we continue through Zooropa 1993, though once again we're going to listen to a song from the album in conjunction with another remix from the Octung Baby tracks provided by Izzy. But for the Zooropa tune, the next one on the playlist is Stay, and then parenthetically, Faraway, So Close, which is especially interesting in terms of the parenthetical subtitle. Obviously, Far Away and So Close seem to be on opposite ends of the distance or proximity spectrum. Stay is fundamentally about movement, or rather a lack thereof, but it is also about location, right? Like you stay in a certain place. Now that can be conceptual. You can stay in a relationship, or you can stay in a certain framework or a certain mental state, but it is about not leaving a particular place or location, however literal or figurative. So the whole title together seems to relate to location, and yet I don't quite know what to make of it. So I will be on my best attention. Let's give it a listen and I'll see what I can catch. This is U2. The song is Stay, and then parenthetically, Far Away, So Close, from Zooropa 1993.
Green light, 7-Eleven. You stop in for a pack of cigarettes. You don't smoke, don't even want to. Hey now, check your change. Dressed up like a car crash. Your wheels are turning, but you're upside down. You say when he hits you, you don't mind, because when he hurts you, you feel alive. Oh no, is that what it is? Red light, gray morning. You stumble out of a hole in the ground, a vampire or a victim. It depends on who's around. You used to stand to watch the adverts. You could lip sync to the talk shows. And if you look through me, and when you talk at me, and when I touch you don't feel anything. If I could stay, then the night wouldn't give you up. Stay, and the day wouldn't keep its trust.
knew it was going to have a hard, definitive ending like that. Luca, what are you doing? More on her in a moment. Nevertheless, lyrically, I'm intrigued because I caught a lot of bits and pieces. I don't quite know how to put it all together. I mean, at first there's some imagery which sounds dark or dangerous. The idea of like, it's like a car crash. The wheels are turning, but it's upside down. So an image of a car that's been overturned, which of course is dangerous for people in the cab of the vehicle. And then a reference to like when he hurts you and sort of lines that again sound like there's some vulnerability and maybe harm at hand. But then a line about like crawling out of a hole and I don't know if you're a vampire or a victim. And there was a line right after that I was intrigued by. But of course, like, that it depends on who's around, right? Which maybe suggests that like in certain contexts someone could be more aggressive or more antagonistic, but in other contexts might be more oppressed or set upon. And indeed, as a historian, I could tell you from my own studies that it is very much the case that there are many situations where victims become victimizers or simultaneously both in different contexts. So yeah, that was intriguing. And then there was a line that was like, referencing all these cities, though to be fair, and don't get me wrong, this is the way I used to say it, but if you go to Louisiana, I would recommend saying New Orleans, not New Orleans. They get very picky about that. Nevertheless, I don't quite know what to make of that international reference to these different cities. Maybe that the same concepts or the same experiences are taking place, and thus suggesting it's more of like a human phenomenon, an international phenomenon. And so, there were a couple lines at the end too that caught my ear, but now having gone back to the other ones, my brain unfortunately has a hard time keeping everything in the front view screen. If I can remember, I'll put it in the video description. But yeah, again, a lot of pieces, and I don't know if, again, the idea of stay far away, so close, it is about maybe these concepts being, removed, but also part of the present or the current situation. Maybe it is about people who are actually going to different places. So yeah, hard to get a read on that. Bono's vocals, very expressive and vivid, definitely getting very intense at a couple moments, but just having a good quality overall. Sonically, the actual music bits, they had this kind of like shiny but blurry feel to them. They sounded like they were exposed like a photograph or something, so that it's kind of bright and almost like too much for your eyes or your ears, but in a way that has this bright allure. It's hard for me to characterize the way that the sonics hit me, but again, they had a bit of fuzziness to them, but in this bright, rich sort of way. And I did enjoy, as I said, that moment, and I sort of like reacted to it. There was a real flourish in the back half of the tune that caught my ear. So, and that was both Bono's vocals and the sonics. But yeah, definitely like a dreamy and bright tune is maybe the way I would characterize it, but definitely a cool one. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.